Hello, this is Pernilla Lillerose from Divine Feminine Flow. I want to share a poem with you in a little bit, but I want to just share a little before what that poem came from. I was at a silent retreat. This is many years ago. And when you go on these silent retreats, 5 or 7 days, you just have to face a lot of your inner demons, beliefs, emotions, all the things that's being held back and makes us live out in the world looking like everything is fine. And then underneath, there's all these unresolved energies that really want to be freed up. So in this specific case, what I was meeting in myself was this deep feeling that there was something wrong with me because I've always felt a little different. And I'm sure that if you are listening to my videos, that you are probably in that same boat. You're most likely a highly sensitive being or a light worker. And the bottom line is that we bring in an energy that the three-dimensional world or the illusion is not really connected with or can relate to. So when we just come in with many times an innocence, an insight, inspiration, an energy, that can be completely dismissed and completely trampled on. And it leaves us wondering, like, is there something wrong with me? Can you relate to that? That has certainly been part of my middle name most of my life. And, doubting that who I am and what I bring is not really what the world wants. Very common thing amongst light workers and highly sensitive beings and coaches or trainers, because we do bring something that is different. It's just a different energy. It's a different perspective. And many people are not really, I don't know if the word ready, they have, it just doesn't resonate with them yet. It may do at later time. We don't know that. But because of that, there's many of us who have been walking around, kind of hiding our light, which I have talked about before. Because when we have been shining our light, it's been met with a no-no, shaming, all kind of strange things that don't make sense to us because this is really who we are. So because of that, there's so many who are really walking around kind of with a hood on or a shell around them, to definitely not run into that issue again. So at this particular retreat, that came up very strongly for me. I can't remember why, but when you go inside in the silence, a lot of things show up that you normally don't are conscious of, or maybe you're conscious of it, but you don't know what to do with it. So you just kind of leave it here. And then after the retreat, or maybe it was by the end of the retreat, this poem came out, and I want to read that to you today. So I want to invite you to just sit down, and close your eyes if you want, take a deep breath, and then I'm going to share this poem with you. So just let yourself receive it. And again, always just feel if it resonates with you and let it go where it needs to go. It's called A Misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding when you poured out your love, shared your part, expressed the wisdom straight from your heart, and nobody understood and made you look like a fool. It was a misunderstanding based on a lack of receptivity, a developmental inability from the world around you to see what you saw. This caused them to shame you, shun you, even stone you, so they could stay comfortable in the familiarity of those times. It was a misunderstanding that their rejection of your perfection meant that you were wrong and had to dumb yourself down. That your realization was a manifestation of their devaluation of something bigger than they knew to be true. It was a misunderstanding that you had to quiet your voice and wear a mask to fit in with the crowd, not ready for your task. That your truth was inappropriate, your expression insubordinate, that God had left you all on your own. It was an innocent misunderstanding, yet your light dissolved the darkness by sacrificing your life. Your love opened hearts, even in your darkest doubts. Your wisdom brought clarity without gaining an ounce of popularity. We are all waking up. The misunderstanding can stop. During times of great confusion, as part of this timeless evolution, you helped tear down the veil of illusion and prepared the world to understand that they are the solution. You played your role well. Your job is complete. In deep gratitude, I bow at your feet. Yeah, take that in for a moment and just see how that resonates for you. If you can relate to that, how you have basically been misunderstood, starting with your parents, your peers, your teachers. You just came in with a different energy, and this energy is not wrong. As a pioneer, we kind of paved the way, right? And pioneers always meet resistance. It cannot be in any other way, because we have to move through a denser energy, and that causes resistance. And I think the misunderstanding has been that it meant that there was something wrong with us, that we were doing the wrong thing, that we had landed on the wrong planet, all of that. But it is not true. I want to just say that if you can relate to this poem, you probably came in with something very, very valuable that you have not yet shared. And what it is that you share is you, who you are, foibles and all. We all have them. But underneath, there is something so much bigger, so much brighter. And it is time now for us to get out from under that hiding, from under the bushel, and start shining our light. And it does not mean that you have to be out there doing something, attracting crowds, anything like that. It may, if you feel moved to, if this energy moves you that direction, because it gives you joy and it's inspiring and it's fun. So just for a moment, feel into who you are as that energy, that bright energy that you might remember it from when you were a child. And you know, the innocence, the vibrancy, the exuberance, the wisdom, the knowing things, the seeing things, noticing things that others didn't. And it was very natural to you. But then because they didn't get it, you know, you put on a hood, a veil, went into hiding. And I would say that there are a lot of us now who are beginning to recognize that in ourselves. And maybe it really is time for us now to start shining it, at least to each other, at least in places where it is safe to be seen in that. And I actually feel very blessed because in my work with my client, I see it, I sense it, I just know what is there. And then I can reflect that back to my clients so they can start seeing it without, pushing it down. So it kind of gets a space where it can start coming out again. And I do believe that that's a very, very important part of the current unfolding, that all of us, little light workers, we might just be these little invisible ones, but we are actually not. We are invisible when we try and hide it. But when we don't try and hide it and just let it shine, and whether people see it or not, that is not the point. The point is that we start letting this energy and this frequency come back out, and it knows what to do. You don't have to figure that out. It knows. So just an invitation for all of us to connect with that we have shut down, and then allow it to show us the way. It's coming back to that prayerful way of being where we just feel like an open invitation for the divine to come through and show us. And then of course, we need to learn how to listen to that and start trusting it, and then eventually acting on it. It's a very sweet process. Yeah. I hope you will allow your light to shine brighter. It probably is already shining very brightly. So maybe it's time to just, push the dimmer up a little bit and allow a little more light in.